Yep, we are looking at partial fractions, and I want to look at certain rules. Three rules. Okay. So first one, if the degree of numerator, if degree of numerator is greater than or equal to that of denominator, greater than or equal to that of denominator, then we carry out we carry out polynomial division. We carry out polynomial divisions. Okay, and when we do that, it's going to give us that division will give us a quotient plus a fraction plus a fraction. Okay, whereby the degree of the numerator is now less to the denominator. Okay, let me repeat the first rule. The first rule is that if the degree of numerator is greater than or equal to, we carry out polynomial division, and that division will give us the quotient plus a fraction. Okay, and this fraction will be resolved into what? Partial fraction. And in that case now, you now realize that this fraction you are having, the numerator now is of lower degree to the denominator. Okay, so that's the first case. Number two, if there is a linear factor of the form x minus a bracket x minus b in the denominator. Okay, so that will correspond to partial fraction of the form a over x minus x plus b over x minus b. Okay, so that's what we are saying, that if you have a linear factor of this form, okay, this one times this one, okay, in the denominator, okay, that will correspond to a partial fraction of this form. Okay, let's look at the example. Resolve into partial fractions. You can see now, and you can see that the numerator is of degree 3. The polynomial of power 3 is higher than that of what? Denominator. The highest power here is 3. The highest power here is 2. So the degree of the numerator is higher than what? Degree of denominator. So in that case now, what we do is to carry out a polynomial division. That's the first step. Okay, and that will be equal to what? This one plus x squared plus 4x, x squared plus x plus this. Okay, you divide. So, and that will be equal to, what can we use to multiply this? Most particularly the first item here to get x3. That will be x. So, if you use x times this one, you have this. This one times this one plus what? X squared. This one times this one minus 2x. Then you subtract. So this will be what? 0, 0. This minus 2x. That was 6x. Okay? So, and then you can now see now that your fraction now, this now, plus x squared plus 4x all over x squared plus x minus 2 is now equal to your quotient which is this, plus the remainder, which is 6x over the divisor x squared plus x minus 2. So you now realize that the degree of the numerator now is 1. It's now lower to what? To the denominator. Okay. Then you now carry out partial fraction for this for that fraction. Okay. So 6x over x squared plus x minus 2. That will be equal to 6x. Let's see, we can factorize this. Let's check that. This x squared, 1 here, 1 here. Factors of 2 is 2 and 1. So how do you use 2 and 1 to get plus 1? That will be minus 2. That will be plus 2 minus 1. And when you multiply plus 2 minus 1, you get minus 2. Okay? So you can now see now that we have now resolved this now into what? The linear factor. And we said that when you have a linear factor at the denominator, what do you do? That will be equal to a over one of the factor plus b over another factor. Okay, then multiply through. The next thing to do now is to multiply through by the common factor, x plus 2 and x minus 1, x plus 2 and x minus 1, x plus 2, x minus 1. This one is x minus 1. Okay, this one is x minus 1, x plus 2, x minus 1. Okay, so the next thing to do now is to, if you multiply 2 by that common factor, you have 6x equal to what? This one times this one, that's a into bracket x minus 1 plus b into bracket what? X plus 2. Then what we now do now is for us to use elimination method, whereby by the time we substitute for x variable, one of the constants will go. Okay, or one of the expression will cancel out. Let x be equal to 1. Let x be 1. Okay, and that will be 6 equal to 1 minus 1, that's 0. Then we have 1 plus 2, that's 3b. So b is what? 6 over 3, and that's 2. That's 2. Then another thing we can do again, let x be equal to minus 2. That will be equal to minus 12 equal to a into bracket minus 2 minus 1. And that will be equal to minus 3a. Minus 3a. So minus we cancel. A will be equal to what? 12 over 3. And that's 4. So therefore the expression this plus x squared plus 4x over x squared plus x minus 2 will now be equal to what? Your quotient x plus this fraction that you resolve into partial fraction, which will now become a. Your a is what? Your a is 4 over x plus 2, then plus b. Your b is 2 over x minus 1. And that finished that question.